US President Donald Trump increased tariffs on India by 50%. His hope was that India would stop buying Russian oil that's helping to fuel Russia's war with Ukraine. Trouble is, Modi gets the fuel cheap, which helps power his population of more than 1 billion people. So rather than back down, Modi has gone to China for the first time in 7 years, where he was joined by Putin for a key economic summit in Beijing with Xi Jinping. You following? Well, joining us now is political analyst Joe Siracusa. So this sort of summit, Joe, it's happened before, but rarely with so many intriguing storylines. Put it simply, though, for us, what does it all mean?
Well, it's a meeting, essentially between Russia, China, or China, Russia, and India, in a grouping called the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, which, by the way, Pete, has got a bunch of scary nations in it. None of you want to visit, as a matter of fact. And they set up as a bloc, began as a sort of Central Asian counterpoint to American influence about 15, 20 years ago. And India, because it believes in multipolarity, that is, it wants to put its chips everywhere. I mean, India is Australia's great friend in the Quad, and it's hanging out with the Russians and with the Chinese. Does that make any sense?
Well, that's part of what's intriguing about it all, yeah.
I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. Look, I think it's not going to come to very much. People say Trump's policies are driving all these people together. But look, there's a very large contentious border between China and Russia. There is a conflict in Kashmir and other places on the border between India and China. I mean, these people, they got their own grievances that are not going to be settled by this.
Right.
On the other hand, when you see all your enemies hanging out at the bar across the street, you think, what are they talking about? What are they doing? Donald Trump is...
So, well, answer that. Answer your own question, Joe.
Well, while Donald Trump is going to invade Chicago in the next couple of days, these guys are sitting around about what to do with Donald Trump. I mean, it gives you an idea that we got our perspective in the wrong place. Look, I think diplomacy is a wonderful alternative to killing each other. In fact, it's all we got. And Modi's very clever to be hanging out with all these groups at once. I mean, no one's ever pinpointed the Indians down to any particular position. And if anybody's waiting for Modi to come to the aid of Australia or anybody else, good luck with that.
So, I mean, like, if they're at the bar, if Xi Jinping and Narendra Modi are wherever they are talking, and they decide to come up with some kind of security pact, what would that mean for, the flow of traffic off China, which would involve us, I suppose?
Well, yeah, I mean, the Chinese leader would like a little bit of help with defense of Taiwan, China's policies in the South China Sea, and all the rest of it. I doubt Modi's going to give him that kind of thing. On the other hand, Modi's insistence on buying Russian oil while it's cheap, while it's a very good national decision, has driven the Americans crazy. So, nations tend to favor the economic solution to the military ones. But look, when you drive people together, I mean, Donald Trump's tariff policies have driven everybody crazy. And, I think it just behooves Modi, for example, just to take it on the chin. And Donald Trump's only going to be around for a couple more years. Next guy is not going to be like Donald Trump anyway. Yeah. But look, it's very interesting when your enemies, your adversaries, and your potential adversaries are all hanging out together and planning something else. They could be economic, military, social, whatever it is. But I think this is a real coup for President Xi. It shows that he's a player, and the idea that the president of Russia can move around the world without getting arrested. And India, America's great friend, Australia's great friend, is hanging out with these guys who are not always in favor of Australian solutions to things. Yeah. And so, you got this very interesting game going on. And that's what international politics is all about. And that's why it's so interesting, Pete, because you can never figure out exactly what these people are doing.
No, that is, diplomacy is absolutely fascinating, particularly in this regard and all the different angles that are being played or worked on here. Now, you've got that economic summit, which is going to be bookended by China's Victory Day military parade on Wednesday. It's going to be at Tiananmen Square. And it'll be that, typical show of military might. It's, it's tanks, it's soldiers, etc. It'll be attended by the leaders of Iran and North Korea and Bob Carr. It'll be spectacular, no doubt, but that's an interesting inclusion.
Yes, I got to know Bob a little bit when I was at RMIT. I don't know what the hell he's doing there. I mean, you know, it's okay. I guess his wife is a member of the Chinese community and all that. Look, it's a big parade. It shows the world that that China is armed to the teeth. It's got swagger. And I read today in the New York Times that they have 200% more capacity to make boats or build ships than the United States. So, you know, they're tomorrow's future, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
But look, these military parades, they give me the chills, because what it tells me is that these governments are not all that popular at home, but they want everybody else to see a military on parade that is somebody that can hurt you at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So these military parades, you know, they have two purposes. You know, is to keep the people settled down, let people see what's happening in their own countries, and to scare the bejesus out of everybody else.
Yeah, that's a good point. Joe, always good to chat on this Monday morning. We'll talk to you again next week.